Black delivery driver solves what 20 engineers failed, so smart, fix it now. Everyone was shocked. The skyscraper of Argent Technologies gleamed like a monument to power. Inside its top floor, 20 engineers in spotless lab coats huddled around a massive prototype, an energy machine worth hundreds of millions. But it was dead. Sparks fizzled, the gears clanked, the system refused to start. The CEO, Richard Argent, was losing patience. Investors were arriving in just 2 hours. If this machine didn't work, the deal would collapse. One engineer sighed. "Sir, we've run every diagnostic. Nothing works. It's over." Richard's face twisted. Over. I didn't hire 20 of the best engineers in the country for excuses. The tension was broken by the creak of the door. A deliveryman walked in, uniform faded, hands calloused. His name tag read, Darius. He carried a box of parts ordered for the project. The engineers barely glanced at him, until he paused, frowning at the broken machine. "Your coolant's backward," Darius muttered. "That's why it overheats." The room froze. Then laughter broke out. One engineer sneered, "You serious? The delivery guy thinks he's an engineer now." Another smirked, "What's next? You gonna teach us physics, boy?" The word boy hung in the air like poison. Some chuckled. Others didn't bother to hide their smirks. Darius swallowed hard but stood his ground. "I'm just saying, switch the valve, and it'll run." Richard's eyes narrowed. "Do it." The engineers balked. "Sir, this is nonsense, I said do it." Richard barked. Grumbling, they switched the valve. For a moment, silence. Then, the machine roared to life. The light steadied, the gears spun smoothly. The engineer's jaws dropped. Richard turned to Darius, his expression unreadable. "How did you know that?" Darius said quietly, "I grew up fixing engines with my father. Sometimes, machines tell you what's wrong, if you listen." The room was stunned. The same men who mocked him for his skin, his job, his uniform, now looked small, ashamed. Richard's voice thundered. "You laughed at him. You humiliated him. And yet he solved what 20 of you could not." The engineers lowered their heads in silence. 2 hours later, investors saw a flawless demonstration. The deal was signed. The company saved. But Richard wasn't finished. At the press conference, he pulled Darius onto the stage in front of flashing cameras. "This is Darius," Richard declared. "He walked in as a delivery driver. Today, he walks out as our newest lead engineer." Gasps filled the room. The same men who mocked him now stood frozen. Darius's eyes glistened. For years, people had overlooked him, judged him for his skin, his uniform, his job. But today, they saw his genius. The applause shook the room. But then, Richard raised his hand again. "One more thing," he said. "This moment should not end with one man. Starting today, Argent Technologies will establish the Darius Grant Scholarship Fund, dedicated to young black students in engineering, so no talent will ever be ignored again." The room erupted. Cameras flashed. Investors leaned forward, stunned. Darius covered his face with his hands, overcome. He never asked for fame. He never asked for recognition. All he wanted was respect. And now, standing under the bright lights, he knew his father would be proud. Because he hadn't just fixed a machine. He fixed the way people saw him, and maybe the way the world would see countless others after him. And that changed everything.